they're feeding their children, it takes their name, it takes their age. It wants to know if the person who you have in front of you is actually the caregiver. A lot of times it's not going to be. It'll be a worker, or it'll be like a friend coming on their behalf a lot of times. Is the child separated from the parents? Is the child separating from the breastfeeding mom? Does the child feed at breast? How are they being fed? What are they drinking the milk out of, and what kind of milk is it? Do they use a breast pump? Are they exclusively pumping? What kind of pump do they use? Do you have your pump with you? Did you evacuate with your pump? Do you have breast pumps here at your shelter? In the toolkit that you read, shelters are supposed to have these entire areas set up with a washing station and everything. So that's another thing we can help them set up, because we've got a toolkit to help us do it, including posters and everything. If a shelter wants that, first of all, if it's like a shelter, they're supposed to have it. And if they don't, they might want to have it. Do you know how to hand express? Do you need help with breastfeeding or expressing? How much milk does your baby drink in 24 hours? Because we don't want to send them out with no water and power with 6 cans of powdered formula that is just not appropriate, you know, to give it. And it wastes formula for somebody else whose needs may say that they need that. Are they on a special formula like prescribed from the doctor? Why? Do they eat complementary foods? What texture are you giving them right now? Do they have allergies, feeding problems, prematurity, immunocompromised, texture issues, aspiration risks? Is there anything you want to tell us about your privacy, your safety, your needs, your feeding supplies? And then as an emergency responder, most of us are going to be able to look at that child and tell if they're okay, lethargic, dehydrated, listless, pale, whatever. So down at the bottom, you'll see that their immediate needs might mean lactation support. We can provide that. If not, we can get somebody out there that can provide that to them. Donor human milk, and then ready to feed formula. And then the infant feeding supplies like the cups and we have solid foods available, and then what education was provided to them. So that's basically just prompting that deep conversation that we want to have. And you will be so surprised at what comes out during that conversation, because they come to you with one need, and it turns out the whole situation is actually completely different, and no one was ever going to ask them those questions. It's really strange. It's been the weirdest thing.
Yeah, yesterday
was wild. Yeah. It doesn't seem that complicated, but it is. I hate to be that way.
Don't we experience that lactation consults though?
All the time.
All the
Digging
time.
deeper and finding what's under the surface with what's really going on versus the perception of what's going on by the parent or the volunteer. So what questions?
So as if it was in the fridge.